Hi, my name is Marcy. What's occurring? Well, when you read in Genesis, I think it's Genesis 3, 12, or 16, something like that, where he's talking about the woman's, punishment will be that she'll be pining for her husband, and obviously this is, the thing what happened after the apple got ate. And obviously going to suffer in childbirth pains as well, like. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's like when we're in the church and we see, we're having to suffer because Jesus lives in us and He's long suffering. You know, after a while, you start seeing that as a normal way of living. God doesn't just put things on us like to make us feel bad. It's for our good in the end. And I'm going to turn around and tell you, and I've got to tell you, and I'm telling this to the men. If you haven't got a woman that's telling you that you're cute all day, and she's not fascinated with you, and she's not staring at you, and she's not looking at your hands all day, and she's not doing any of those things, that woman is not really for you, because God turned around in His word and says that the woman will pine for her husband. And then another one will say, you will have desire for your husband, even though you're going through, childbirth and stuff like that, and the battle in your marriage, obviously because of Satan. So, it's not just those words that she says to you, it's the way that she goes on with you. I mean, if she's like, oh, you know what, I just want your money, and, hey, you ain't nothing if I ain't got your money, all this type of thing. Sorry, I'm trying to do something that I'm not, but, like, yeah. Is it funny? Anyway, some women will go on like that, oh, we don't need a man in our life, and, and stuff like that. But that's it's like almost turning around and saying that, the punishment that woman got because of that apple getting ate. They refuse to go through the suffering rather than taking it on board and saying, you know what, yeah, it's in our bloodline, it's sin, it's sin. We entered into that sin that Eve did. Instead of accepting it, like, well, I'm not going to put up with it. So it's like a rebellion, really. Okay. My relationship with my husband is like this. As you already know, I love my husband to bits. I do spend all day telling him how beautiful he is. I sit down all day telling him how much I fancy him. I sit down all day staring at him and looking at his eyes. I'm very fascinated with him, his domineering over me. Okay, and obviously I accept God's, punishment for me as a woman, and I don't even see it as a punishment because I accept the fact that this thing was wrong. What happened in the Garden of Eden? Because we have entered into that, haven't we? We was born into sin, so there you go. That's my view on it. God bless you guys. Bye.